Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. So guys, in this one I will be talking about a really hot topic that's been going around in the forums, and this is the RDF tool. So I've seen a lot of talk about this, with both sides having heated arguments about it. Blizzard themselves have said that there won't be an RDF tool for Classic Rat because it goes against the spirit of Classic. But in original Rat there was an RDF tool, so I don't think it actually goes against that spirit, you know? Myself, I think I'm a pro RDF, mostly because I think the benefits just outweigh the cons, and I want to explain that in this video. So I will be listing a lot of pros, and I will be debunking the cons of the RDF conundrum. Let's get started. Number 1. So RDF prevents excessive min-maxing. By this I mean that you guys already know how the Classic community is. They will min-max even the smallest thing. And well, I'm being a bit unfair here. Most gaming nowadays is like this. People just min-max and gate creep the crap out of each other, you know? Without RDF, people will just gravitate to inviting the best DPS class, you know, like the best maybe by a few percentages. For dungeons, yes, for simple heroics, people will be min-maxing. I guarantee that will be happening, you know? With the RDF tool, you as a DPS will have a guaranteed spot in a group. Even if you're a DPS, you'll probably have to wait a bit because like there's so many of them, you know. But you will eventually get into group. In the meantime, you can just go out in the world to farm herbs, do world PvP, or do whatever you want, making the most out of your time. Because nowadays, time is a really important thing for everyone. The age demographic of Rat is not the youngest one. We're mostly around between the ages of 25 to probably 35 years old. Everyone has jobs, has family, and what you do with your time is very important. So instead of trying to read a wall of text in LFG and spam whispering people to beg for an invite, or even if you make your own group trying to find a tank and a healer as a DPS, I think it's better to just have the RDF tool so you can just press a button and you will get into a group into your dungeons. Number 2, RDF prevents the reserved X item, at least in dungeons. So this is by far the most annoying thing I myself have found while doing heroics in TBC. Every single group I try to join of heroic Magister's Turrets is like shard reserved, or sorry, no paladins or DKs, shard reserved, or sorry, only one cloth DPS. Probably because he wants to be the only guy that can roll on, you guessed it, the shard. So this is going to be exacerbated even more in Rat because it won't be just one item reserved. Everything will be reserved. People just get used to this type of play style and just reserve everything. You will run into walls of text of people, of groups spamming, frozen or reserved, or epics reserved, or wars. Tanking service, but I keep the orb and all epics. So for me, this is the worst thing about Classic, and I was hoping not running into these things in Rat, at least in dungeons, you know, because you're always going to run into these things in raids, and there's sometimes you can't do anything about it. But I thought I was going to be free in dungeons, but I guess that's out the window. And please, if you make a group, don't be a scumbag and reserve stuff. Do the decent thing, let everyone have a role and everything. Number 3, RDF allows for dungeon spam. This is a very simple one. RDF allows for dungeons to drop gear without a lockout. Well, yes, you won't get the dungeon you want all the time, but at least there's a chance you'll be able to get loot from it again and again and again, which I think it's a good thing, you know, because, well, I'm coming from retail, where I do a ton of Mythic Plus dungeons, and those also don't have a lockout on loot. So I guess I'm a bit biased with this one because my line of thought is like different from Classic people. But I think it would make everyone a bit more happy, you know, that being able to play the game a lot to farm your biz set before you go into raids by spamming a lot of dungeons, you know, and I think that's always good. Now let's go and debunk some of the anti-RDF arguments. Number 1 anti-RDF argument is that RDF kills socialization. So wrong. Socialization didn't die because of RDF, it died because social media and other types of communication outside of the game became prevalent at the same time RDF was implemented. Then those same social media grew even more with Discord and more online communities appearing, making socialization in-game not needed or wanted by most of the player base. There is a precedent of this in the current retail, where, believe it or not, we use the LFG tool a lot. That is the manual tool to make groups for dungeons, raids, PvP. And we do have to actually manually go to the stone to summon people, you know? And let me tell you, there isn't really any socialization on that, or very little at least. It's just a high at the start of the dungeon. If there's a wipe, people either rage, then leave, or if the dungeon goes well, you just say GG's at the end, or do you need if you want loot that people got. That's the extent of our socialization. So when our anti RDF people say mass socialization, you know, I don't really know what they are defending. Since in my experience doing TBC heroics, it's been exactly as in retail. Get into a group, say hi, summon people, ask for buffs, then we kill stuff, get loot, GG's at the end. When people want to game, they just want to do that. They just want to game. They don't want to listen to a dude blabbing about random stuff in the dungeon and doing jack all DPS. Number 2. People will just sit in city and spam queues. Wrong as well. Some people will do that, but either if you are leveling or are at max level and just farming gear, doing other stuff like questing or farming trade mats is the most efficient way to wait in your queues. A lot of people like that, and we have also a precedent of this with the recent removal of having to be near the battle master for PvP battlegrounds to queue. People went out of the cities and are farming mats to get gold for rat, while they're also farming honor for their brutal gladiator gear. Same would happen in Wrath with people going out in the world, farming mats and herbs and all that stuff, you know, or even doing dailies while they're also waiting for their dungeon queue, which I think it's a really good thing because, well, time is a really important thing for people, and if you can do multitask while you're waiting for queues, it's really efficient to do that. Number 3, RDF rewarded the go-go-go mentality and promotes griefers. This is also wrong. The go-go-go mentality was always there, even in classic vanilla, or you're not gonna tell me that triple mage groups were not a thing for spamming Scarlet Monastery back then. Rat, the only thing it does is give many more classes AoE and cleave. It also gives tanks more threats, so it's normal that people want to go fast and kill big packs in dungeons. It's fun to see big numbers go burr, you know? Also, a lot of people that are coming into Rat are either people that played it in private servers or people that come from retail, with some others returning from long hiatuses, you know. And let me tell you that retail dungeons are by far harder than whatever Rat dungeons will throw at you. I think anyone capable of doing even a plus 10 Mythic Plus in retail will have no problems doing Rat dungeons, and the private server people will just plow through the content even easier because they have played this version of WoW to death. As you can see, the go-go mentality will be there with or without RDF. About promoting griefers, that's also wrong. Servers being 4 or 5 times the size of original ones, I myself can't remember the name of anyone I played in the game, you know, or did a single dungeon run with. Servers are no longer small towns where everyone knows each other. They are big cities where, with RFD or not, you'll find griefers. RFD actually helps you with this since you can't change loot options in there. You can't manually change it to, let's say, master loot, so you are actually protected from being ninja'd to a certain extent, you know, since if you see someone just needing on everything, you can also do it yourself, you know, to have a chance to get the loot. And in worst case scenarios, you can just finish the run and easily just queue for another one with a press of a button without having to wait for a manual invite or having to read through a sea of like LFG spam, you know. 4, just use the LFG tool, it works fine. Wrong. The LFG tool in TBC Classic is terrible compared to the retail one. In retail, people just queue for your key, you see a list of them, and then you pick from that list. Period. It's really easy, and you do that with a press of a button. You don't need to whisper anyone, you don't need to do any of that crap. It shows their item level, it shows their level, and it also shows their Mythic Plus score. Since this is Rat, the LFG tool could just show level and item level, you know, because that existed in Rat. That way you can sort people out. Instead, we have this tool that just makes walls of text in the LFG channel, and having to whisper to the leader is annoying for both parts. The guy whispering and the guy getting whispered, because the leader is just getting spammed whispered by a bunch of people that want to join the group, and you're having to spam them or spam a lot of them so you can have a chance to join those groups. While instead you could just have a list like in retail and pick from that list, and that would be so much easier, you know. As you can see guys, having RDF is just good for the game. People nowadays have less leisure time. Let's face it, we all have jobs, we all have families, and we want to spend that small amount of leisure time gaming efficiently, you know? And RDF accomplishes just that. I really hope that Bliss sees this and implements it, even if it's not at the start of Rat Classic, at some point in the future, you know. And well guys, that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this hot topic, you know, and give a video a like if you like it, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching guys.